coordination. Welcome to a very special episode of the GreenPilled podcast with Manu from DoinGud. DoinGud is an NFT marketplace that is one of the most beautifully designed sites that I've seen out there. And when you purchase an NFT on DoinGud, you are doing good, hence the name. Basically, it helps fund social causes with NFTs, which I think NFTs have been a really hot topic this cycle. Manu is extremely good people. If you ever see him at one of these events, he's just hugging you, he's smiling, everyone. He's friends with everyone in the regen space. He's one of those connectors that I think is really empowering to talk to, just brims with optimism of what could happen in the regen Web3 space. So I hope you enjoy this episode with Manu from DoinGud Coordination. Without further ado, I give you Manu and the DoinGud story.
If you're trying to grow and preserve your crypto wealth, optimizing your taxes is just as lucrative as trying to find the next hidden gem. ALTO IRA can help you invest in crypto in tax advantage ways to help you preserve your hard-earned money. ALTO Crypto IRA lets you invest in more than 150 coins and tokens with all the same tax advantages of an IRA. They make it easy to fund your alternative IRA or crypto IRA via your 401k or by contributing directly from your bank account. There is no setup or account fees, and it's all you need to do to invest in crypto tax-free. Let me repeat that again. You can invest in crypto tax-free. Diversify like the pros and trade without tax headaches. Open an ALTO Crypto IRA to invest in crypto tax-free. Just go to altoira.com/bankless. That's ALTOIRA.com/bankless and start investing in crypto today. When you shop for plane tickets, you probably use Kayak, Expedia, or Google to compare ticket prices. So why would you limit yourself to just one exchange when you trade crypto? When you make your trades, you want to make sure you're getting the best possible price on your trade, and that's why you should be using MATCHA. MATCHA has smart order routing that splits your trade across all the various liquidity sources in Ethereum, and is also operational on Polygon, Avalanche, Binance Smart Chain, and other chains. Trading on MATCHA is super easy because it pools the liquidity for me in a single, easy-to-use platform and allows me to make limit on-chain orders, so you can set and forget your DeFi trades, and they will go through automatically while you're away. So when you're making a trade, head over to matcha.xyz/bankless and connect your wallet to start getting the best prices and most liquidity when you trade your crypto assets.
All right, welcome to the show. I'm here with Manu, who is the founder at DoinGud. Manu, first question, hardball, are you doing good?
I'm doing super good, man.
Okay, you're gonna have to fork the project and call it Doing Super Good if you continue to do good. What is Doing Good?
Well, DoinGud is currently, let's say, a platform for creators to tokenize their creations in the form of NFTs and collaborate with different creators, different curators, or gallery owners, and basically split everything between all the parties, but at the same time enable creators to support social causes that they care about, and like that, hopefully create, let's say, a more sustainable world and a more interconnected world as well.
Amazing. What are your favorite creators on the platform and social causes that Doing Good has supported?
So one of the top creators that I am loving is Alchemics, who is someone from India who actually paints traditionally just with normal painting, but now he's getting into the digital space and he's creating beautiful, beautiful landscapes. One of my favorite social causes, I would say the Malala Fund, because he's trying to educate women and also basically help out a lot of people in poverty. And yeah, there's actually a lot of creators that I really like that are coming into the platform, which are creators that really want to do good for this world and are really connected to the goal and mission that we have. And that's what Doing Good is today. But the idea of Doing Good is actually to become a protocol for social causes, and basically enable us to curate the social causes that are within that registry, and that anyone, any DeFi, any DAO, any NFT project can actually access that protocol as well, and contribute to these social causes. All of these social causes currently are categorized based on the 17 Sustainable Development Goals by the United Nations. Everyone is talking about the problems that we humanity are facing. Everyone is saying climate change and this type of thing, but there's way more problems than that. that we humans need to coordinate for. And yeah, essentially, the doing good protocol would be like a way for all of us to coordinate on those specific causes, those humanitarian causes that should be receiving some funding.
Amazing. Yeah, I'm just checking it out at doinggood.com. So DOINGUD.com. And I think that like talking about it doesn't really do justice to the beauty of the product. A picture is worth 1,000 words, and you just have some amazing artists supporting some really strong causes on the website. So I would encourage listeners to go check out doinggood.com. So can you tell me a little bit about, so why did you found it? I guess like how did you get into crypto, and from getting into crypto, how did that take you to the journey of founding Doing Good?
How did I get into crypto? Well, at the time, I was working in a very Web2 company. I was working for a venture funded by Microsoft and AXA, the insurance company. I was leading the marketing team as a CMO, and also the product team there, focused on the growth of the product. And yeah, basically during that time, I had a friend that was talking to me about color coins over and over and over, and telling me that everything was going to be tokenized. Uh, to me, I didn't understand any of that. Like, it was like game currency in my mind, until actually Ethereum came out and he showed me a smart contract that enabled you to swap assets without having a middleman. And when he explained the consensus algorithms and basically how it worked, it all clicked. And I was like, wow, this is giving freedom to humanity in a way. And I want to be part of this. My story, let's say my life story, got me into that pretty much, because I've been an activist. I'm a Venezuelan. Well, I was born in Venezuela, and I was basically fighting for freedom of speech and for property rights back at home, as the government took everything away from my family. And yeah, basically, to me, like, this was a way of giving power back to humanity, and less to nation states.
Totally. And so, when you got into crypto, I guess I'm wondering the connection between property rights, as you saw the government taking away property from people, and how we kind of have things in Web 2 where we're all serfs on Zuckerberg's kingdom or land or whatever. Like blockchains actually give us digital property rights. Was that a connection for you throughout the journey?
Yeah, definitely. So, actually, the first thing that I was doing in the space was tokenizing real estate, tokenizing
Mm,
venture funds and venture capital with a European legal
yeah,
framework. So the
yeah.
idea that I had was to enable anyone around the world to invest in any type of physical asset using
Hmm.
this ledger technology. And I worked on that for over 2 years and a half, let's say, like, trying, like, to understand what was going on, what was happening. But I realized that, there's a lot of laws that don't enable this to be a reality. And all of these imaginary lines that we call states or nations, basically, that are not aligned, and don't enable us to transact this type of assets in a global way. And I thought that I was probably, I don't know, maybe 10 years, 20 years too early. So I actually, after that, I decided to focus on something that I thought was going to make a bigger impact. And that's when I really got into DAOs, probably like three
Hmm.
years, 3 years and a half ago.
Right. It's crazy how fast things have accelerated with DAOs, where they were just this theory 3 or 5 years ago, and then we had the DAO, which collapsed. And ever since Moloch DAO, it's feel like we've had this like exponentially accelerating trend of DAOs forming and collapsing, and it's kind of this Cambrian explosion of innovation. And so I'm wondering, like against that background, what were the insights and like the perfect storm that caused you to found Doing Good? And I'm curious, like how you went from crypto and activism to Doing Good as the
Yeah.
tip of the sphere for the work you're doing.
Yeah, okay, that's a really good question. So I have to say that it all started with my, let's say, youth. So when I was a kid, I got my first computer, And yeah, at the age of 12, maybe I started building websites, very shitty ones actually. And
Right.
I was buying stuff online, in the US and also in Europe, and reselling it back at home, because
Oh,
there was
class
issues already
classic
there.
arbitrage.
Yeah, and I was doing arbitrage without me knowing that I was doing arbitrage.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, that was like the first, let's say, touch with the internet. And then when I was in university, I got my diploma as a mechanical engineer, and then I got hired by Schlumberger, which is one of the largest oil service companies in the world. And when I was working there, as a field engineer, I realized that the meta game that nation states are playing is basically to create conflict,
Mhm.
and basically extract as much as they can from that from that, and kind of like have everyone hypnotized and not really realizing what's happening. So, for example, in Venezuela, like at that time, we said that we hated the U.S. and that we hated Europe,
Mhm.
but at the same time, we said that we love, let's say, Russia, China, Turkey, Iraq, Iran, and we will, sell petroleum to the U.S. that will throw bombs back to our friends. Uh,
Mhm.
so when I realized that I was part of that, you know,
Right.
I was like, wow, I don't want to be part of this. This is so bad. And
Mhm.
that's when I left. So,
Okay.
and after that, when I left, Chavez died. And when Chavez died, there was like a lot of things happening in Venezuela. My friends were protesting. And during my university years, I was actually like very, very active, organizing events for people to express themselves and stuff. So when I saw my friends going out to the streets and so on, I went with them and I
Mhm.
started to organize stuff until my life got in danger multiple times, to a
Mhm.
point that like one of my best friends got killed. Um,
Oh, wow.
yeah, a couple of friends were kidnapped, put in jail. Like my cousin got
Mhm.
kidnapped, and like my life was was in a point that I was actually creating a lot of stress for my parents. Like they were being called all the time, telling them that they were going to kidnap me or kill me for basically organizing protests against the government.
Mhm.
So yeah, my parents decided to send me out of the country. So I came to Europe, and when I came to Europe, my first job was again building websites, like telling people that I knew how to build websites. And then after
Mhm.
that, I got hired by Rocket Internet, which is one of the largest, let's say, venture builders in the world. And what they were
Right.
doing, they were basically copying business models from, let's say, from successful areas and bringing them to new areas.
Mm.
And I was
Sounds like
hired.
arbitrage again.
Again, it was arbitrage. It was exactly arbitrage. So initially I was a marketing manager, and then a few months later, I was leading the mobile for basically kind of like a company that is called Jumia. And Jumia is a marketplace of marketplaces. So you have Amazon, like eBay, like Uber, Booking.com. And initially I was focused on the travel side. And yeah, I thought that we were creating a lot of value for Africans at the very beginning, but then I really understood, after being trained and going and learning about Facebook tools and Google tools. I learned that basically we were colonizing Africa with cash. um,
Mm.
and I felt really, really bad about it.
Mhm.
And that's when I decided to leave. And I joined this venture from Microsoft and AXA that was basically connecting patients and doctors using machine learning and chatbots.
Mhm.
And there I thought I was doing something more humane. But again, Web2 problems, kind of like led me to leave that.
Right.
And yeah, that's basically how my whole life has led me to always trying to find something that is giving more and more freedom to humans. So for me, that was DAOs, like the initial thing that I said, wow, this is giving some sort of freedom. After understanding a little bit about cryptocurrencies, and the
Right.
freedom is that you could essentially decide what you want to work on and when you want to work on, and basically, hopefully, the community will notice your contribution and give you back. So
Right.
to me, that was kind of like some sort of freedom. But then when I found NFTs, I realized that there was another abstraction of value that was deeper, or like it was giving more power to the individual. Because
Mhm.
before, with cryptocurrencies in general, like with Ethereum and so on, like
Right.
group of people could come in and write a white paper and basically launch something that someone else could support them from the other side of the world.
Mhm.
And then we pass from that to now individuals anywhere in the world can create whatever sort of value, tokenize it out there, and you don't need to have everyone. You don't need that everyone agrees on that specific value. You just need one person that
Mhm.
that is basically willing to support that value.
Right.
And to me, that was like, wow, that means that essentially, if I value something and someone else around the other world values that same something, then it does have value. And
Right.
that was mind blowing for me. It was like, wow, this is giving freedom for people to actually create value. It's not anymore nation states, but anyone can create value. Uh, and basically represented in a digital way.
So, you've got some money, but how are you gonna use it? You want to spend
You, me, shopping now, bro.
when you know you should be saving.
You'll never buy a house at this rate.
But what if you could spend and save at the same time? For the enlightened kind, with inquiring minds, a new world awaits. Set yourself free with completely flexible, self-repaying loan technology. Supported on desktop and mobile. Seize the power of ALCHEMIX, allowing you to spend and save at the same time. Leverage your wealth without risk of liquidation. Take out a loan that repays itself. By using yield from your deposit to pay off your balance, your only debt is time. What was once inconceivable is now within your grasp.
You're winning some.
OPOLIS is a member-owned digital employment cooperative offering payroll, health insurance, and membership perks that go beyond the basics that you would find at your normal 9-to-5. OPOLIS offers not only health benefits, but also pay stubs and W-2s, workers' comp, and unemployment insurance, as well as disability benefits for independent DAO workers that are traditionally reserved for regular employment situations. OPOLIS provides a tax-compliant way to get your paycheck in crypto and professionalize your work-life situation. OPOLIS members enjoy an average of 20 to 50% savings on top-rated national group health insurances, as well as self-sovereign portable employment. You can also get tokenized rewards based on consumption, staking, and referrals, and also the ability to fund payroll in fiat and stablecoins without the use of centralized exchange. You can also receive paychecks in fiat and whitelisted digital currencies. So sign up for OPOLIS today and get 1,000 work and 1,000 bank tokens when you become a member of OPOLIS by May 25th, 2022, and get started working your self-sovereign life.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's an interesting insight, is that NFTs allow people who to tokenize culture, and culture is an n-dimensional space where you have different values and artistic expressions, and you can kind of combine that, and the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So, were NFTs like kind of the light bulb moment that led to Doing Good's launch?
Yes. Well, I would say that we're a combination of things. Before that, I was working during the pandemic. Let me actually go back. Before the pandemic, we were creating the marketing DAO for Ethereum, and the pandemic happened just after ETHCC in Paris, and everyone got
Mm-hmm.
sick, and like the people that were pushing the marketing DAO for Ethereum actually kind of like cool off their contributions, and yeah, also like the market went down a lot, and the idea was to create this marketing DAO for the whole Ethereum community, but it was depending on donations. So there was no real sustainable way for that DAO to stay forever. So what happened was that yeah, everyone went to build their own stuff, and myself, I started to build a platform called Five Pandemics, and Five
Mm-hmm.
Pandemics was essentially a place to connect those in need of help with those who can provide help and in the right
Mm-hmm.
place anywhere in the world. And
Mm-hmm.
the way that we built this platform was with the community. Like we didn't raise one single US dollar. We just got community members contributing to the code, contribute to the design, to the communications, the operations. And the idea was to actually create a social DAO from that could manage this product. But sadly, most of the people that contribute to the product were not Web3 native, so they didn't understand why we needed a token, why we needed to manage this. They were just contributing to the project out of good intentions. They were just
Right.
contributing because they wanted to do something during the pandemic and they wanted to help others. So there was no interest in governing this. Because maybe there was no enough education from my side, or maybe I wasn't
Right.
able to explain myself enough, like how we could potentially coordinate
Yeah.
this mutual aid platform.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what I saw at that time, what was happening with NFTs, how people were using NFTs, and I thought, okay, we can create kind of like a game where people contribute and they receive NFTs as a proof of contribution, proof of doing something.
Right.
So that's when the idea really clicked, because
Mm-hmm.
what I was building Five Pandemics, I was interviewing a lot of people that were behind nonprofits, NGOs, and
Right.
I realized that most of the people that are behind these organizations are actually artists and actually creators. So to
Mm-hmm.
me, it was kind of weird that it
Yeah.
didn't exist a bridge between the creator economy and the giving economy, or the
Mm-hmm.
altruistic economy. So
Right.
that was the moment that basically led to the ideas of doing good. And obviously this idea these ideas of doing good have been, fueled by many different ideas,
Right.
starting with Gitcoin as well, and
Mm-hmm.
with Common Stack, and with other, let's say, other projects that are trying to do good for humanity.
Right.
And also, like, I was like meeting more and more people and realizing that the tribe was there, that
Right.
people want to do good, and they have
Yeah.
really good intentions. And yeah,
Mhm.
that's what motivated me to get this going.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I do think there's such an amazing nascent community of people who are working on regenerative crypto economics, public goods, doing good, and more solar punk type stuff. And I think that it's really a growing niche in the community. And, that's part of, we wanted to highlight some of these stories on this podcast. I guess I'm wondering, like, what does a world where doing good is maximally successful look like? Like, what's different in that type of world versus if doing good wasn't there?
I would say a world without needing to funding social causes, because it's
Hmm.
already inherited in the in our system.
Hmm. So it's baked in at the base layer of the system.
Correct.
Okay, got it. Do you think that doing good will expand into other mechanisms, or is it going to be NFTs the whole way down?
We're starting with NFTs just because, as I said, I believe that there's this bridge missing between the creators and the social causes, which are
Hmm.
usually managed by creators.
Right.
But then I believe that we should also create tools for managing these social causes, like enabling them to govern in a more transparent way and to basically spread that knowledge across other social causes as well. So basically, opening up or making open source doing good, or
Right.
social endeavors and social
Mhm.
organizations.
Right. Yeah, I sort of envision a world in which there's multiple social causes, and then there's multiple mechanisms through which you can support them, and they're all like we're building this pluralistic civilizational scale infrastructure for funding public goods and social causes. And the pluralism there, I think, is the key that really starting to discover. Is that Giveth and Gitcoin and Doing Good and Radical and Common Stack and all these other projects, like the pluralism and the diversity of mechanisms that support those causes is really important to me. So hopefully we're listening to this in a year or two. We've built interoperability between all these platforms.
100%. I also believe that, like we are all supporting each other at the end of the day. Like,
Yeah.
for example, Five Pandemics, was supported by the community on Gitcoin, and
Yeah. Yeah.
we were able to pay for the servers using those contributions on Gitcoin, for example. And that helped kickstart our endeavor. And from that, we got the first community members for Doing Good and so on. So we are all, interconnected in one way or in another, for sure. And making sure that we can create, interoperable mechanisms between all of these ecosystems, I think it will be amazing.
Yeah, totally. All right. Well, be careful. I might make you into a testimonial if you're not if you're not careful.
Feel
Um,
free.
I guess I'm wondering, how do you keep that optimism alive? Like when you're grinding on Doing Good and working on the next release, and
Mhm.
you read the news and something bad has happened. How do you keep that optimism alive?
Look, I already lost everything. I already lost everything. Financially speaking, when I was living in Venezuela, I lost
Right.
also my house, my
Hmm.
place where I was raised. I lost being able to be next to my family. I
Hmm.
lost the people that I love the most. I lost them. I lost being close to them, at least.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't have anything else to lose.
Hmm.
So I'm just focused on the positive side of things rather than in the negative side of things, um, because I believe in a world where we can live without violence and without coercive ways of enforcing things on humans. And and yeah, I believe in a world where we can live using the energy, the most precious energy to me, which is love. um, and yeah, that's why I'm so positive and optimistic.
Nice. Appreciate that perspective. I guess, is there anything I didn't ask you that you want to say about the ecosystem, about Doing Good, about what's on the roadmap?
Yeah, one of the things that is in the roadmap is this multi-gallery ecosystem, which
Hmm.
will enable communities to come in and curate their own exhibitions or their own drops. So,
Right.
for example, we're going to have at ETH Denver, we're going to have, a, let's say, a gallery, also a Shelling Point with you guys. We're going to have also a gallery. And yeah, so enabling that to the broader ecosystem is going to be, to me, it's going to be great, because it's going to create more and more synergies between all of us, all of the different projects.
Hmm.
um, so enabling, let's say, communities that already exist in Web3 to basically use their tokens and curate within our platform would be something that I'm really looking for.
Nice. Um, yeah, excited to see that roll out. I guess, where can people find you online?
They can find me on Twitter, on Telegram, Instagram, whatever. Just write my first name and my second last name is Manu, Manu, and then Alzuru, Alzuru, Manu Alzuru, and yeah, basically anywhere you can find me. You can find me with that.
Nice. All right, Manu, looking forward to hanging out with you at ETH Denver and to building this better world together. So thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me here, man.